Hi, Tracy Baker here for Baker Gets Cooking. Today we're going to be making one of Seth's favorite treats, cinnamon biscuit rolls. So this is a basic biscuit recipe, one that I use for many different things. It can be used for a sweet treat like this one, or a savory treat with like just plain baked biscuits, or you could put cheese in it, or and serve it with stew or soup. Or you can use it as a topping for like chicken pot pie and that kind of thing. So it's a very versatile recipe. It's a good one to have in your arsenal, and it's easy to make. So Seth's going to help me. And first of all, we have to make the biscuit mix. So in this bowl, I have 3 cups of flour and 3 tablespoons of sugar. And to that, we're going to add you can put that in. So that is 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Good. You get it all out?
Yeah, I think it's not good
Maybe
enough.
a little bit. I'll get you here. Use the end of the spoon. That's good. Okay, and then
Just gonna
set that aside, and you can put a teaspoon of salt in there.
Yes.
Sorry, 3/4 of a teaspoon. So a teaspoon minus a little bit. Okay, that's probably good. Good. Okay, put that aside. And then just you can just use that. This is a pastry cutter. This is a useful tool to have. They're inexpensive, and you can find them in any kitchen center.
Good grip.
So we're just going to mix up the flour and all those other ingredients with that. And I'm going to get the butter. Think that's mixed enough?
Yeah,
Good.
probably.
Okay, I think you're right. So now we're going to put some cold butter in. I like to use butter. Butter is made from natural ingredients. There's cream and usually salt in salted butter. That's the only ingredients. If you look at the ingredients of, say, margarine, for example, margarine has lots of chemicals and other foreign things in it that are not good for you. So if you're going to eat fat, eat natural fat, like butter or lard or olive oil or coconut oil, things like that. I think they're better for you. And they don't have any preservatives or chemicals in them. So I'm just going to, this is cold butter, and I'm just going to chop it into,
6.
well, into just like tablespoon size chunks.
Yeah, about that much. If you can see it.
I'll just chop that up. And that goes into the flour mixture. Okay, Seth, and so take your pastry cutter, and you're just going to push down and twist. Yeah, and just keep pushing and twisting, and that'll break the butter up into little bits. The little bits will be surrounded by the flour, and that's what helps to make these biscuits light and fluffy.
And after a while, you should probably clean it out just with your fingers.
Yeah, you could push it through with your fingers.
Still got some chunks in it.
Yeah, you got to just keep going, keep doing it until the size of the butter is about the size of oatmeal or small peas. That's good. Okay, can I just have a turn?
Should I wash my hands?
Not yet,
Okay.
because you're going to continue with this for a little bit.
She does really good.
Do you think I might have had more practice than you?
Yes.
Can you keep doing that for just a couple more minutes? I think we're just about there. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Can you, before you wash your hands, can you just pick up a little bit of the mixture, hold it like this, so that people might be able to see that there's little bits of butter, little bits of cold butter surrounded by the flour, and that's exactly what you want.
Should I wash my hands now?
Sure, you can wash your hands. Okay, so now we have our flour and butter mixture all prepared. Next step is to put the milk in. So I like to use buttermilk when I make these biscuits. The buttermilk makes them more tender. I didn't have any buttermilk today, so I made buttermilk. So this is a cup and a half of 1% milk, to which I've added a tablespoon and a half of vinegar. And the acid in the vinegar causes the milk to curdle, and so creating kind of like a pseudo buttermilk. And that works really well. So you need to have the acid in there, and that the acid is what helps to make the biscuits more tender. So we're going to just put that all in.
And what she did before you added in,
I made a little well, didn't I?
Yeah, she made a little well like a bowl to keep it in there.
Okay, so then Seth, you can take the spoon and just kind of mix that.
Okay, this is a huge spoon.
Let me have a turn.
You gotta share.
So the dough is kind of all coming together in one big lump. And there's some dry bits kind of around the bottom, and that's okay. That's exactly what you need. So I'm going to put some flour on my board here. And we're just going to turn all of the contents of the bowl onto the floured bench.
This over.
Yeah, that's our next step, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then we're just going to knead this a little bit just to bring it together. If it's too wet, add a little bit more flour. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that it doesn't stick to your bench.
Because then you're going to have a heck of a time cleaning it up. That's not what you want.
So we're just going to knead it gently for a little bit. You don't want to work this dough too much because working it will also make it tough. So the less amount that you handle it, the better the biscuits will be. Okay, so that's ready to roll out for us. Okay, so now, Seth, do you want to roll that out? So we're going to roll it out into like a big rectangle. Do you want me to start it for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That'd be probably best.
Now, as you roll, you're going to have to make sure that it's not going to be sticking. So we'll just do a little flip-de-doo here. And you want kind of like a 10 by 15 rectangle, kind of, sorta. So it is about, I would say, 1/4 inch thick. Something like that. Centimeter. Less than a centimeter? Half a centimeter?
Yeah, maybe
Half a centimeter? Okay. So then to that, what did I do with my butter? Oh yeah. I've got a little spreader here. Here, Seth, you can have that. And there's the spreader. Okay, so we start with a little bit of butter. This is softened butter. I kind of over softened it, so I did put it in the fridge for a little bit. So that just goes right on top. It's about a half a cup. You want to spread that around as best you can. I'm going to wash my hands because they're all full of dough. So you just want to cover the whole surface of the dough. Just kind of evenly spread it out. Again, use butter, don't use margarine for this.
Big glob right in them.
Yeah, we'll just get that all spread out evenly. Right out to the edges. And then onto that, we're going to put about a cup of brown sugar. So you just dump it right in the, actually dump it in your hand, and then you can kind of spread it out. You're going to sprinkle it, right? Like, use 2 hands, okay? And make sure there's not any lumps of the...
Yeah, there's a huge lump in there.
Yeah, so squish it so that it's not a lump anymore. Okay, yeah, and so you're just going to kind of push it so that there's an even layer all the way over top of the butter.
And you just want to glaze it. Just miss it, but still hitting it.
Yeah. What he said. Good. Okay, and then over the top of that, you can put a teaspoon of cinnamon or however much you like. You could add pecans to this. You could add walnuts. We just kind of like it plain. You want a generous sprinkling of cinnamon. So I like to roll towards me, and you just kind of have to gently do this and tuck the ends in. Now these are going to be pretty big rolls. If you want smaller rolls, just
like
divide the dough into thirds and do smaller rectangles. And that'll make your rolls smaller. So we like these for breakfast, or you can have them for dessert. And then I just like to kind of squeeze the roll a little bit to make sure everything's all kind of tucked in there. Okay, so I have a parchment lined baking sheet here. And you need the parchment because the sugar is going to melt and it's going to be sticky. So well, you'll have a big mess to clean up if you don't put parchment down. I'm just going to trim the ends off. Well, Seth likes to eat this raw, so that the ends are going to go to him.
Yay. This
And
is my
then,
favorite type of dough.
so I'm going to divide this roll in half. This is how you get evenly spaced slices. And then I'm going to divide the half into half.
And then you're going to divide that half into half.
And then I'm going to divide that half into half.
All about
That's
halves.
right. It is. I think your eye kind of can gauge half of something easily. So that's how I make my slices even. And then you just divide it in half again. And so there you go. You have nice, evenly spaced slices.
What I do with the leftover dough, if you have kids, that's really good because they can try out this dough. So just like dab it in the brown sugar and the
leftover brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah, and then it'll be a really tasty treat for them. So that's what I like to do.
So then you're going to want to space these about an inch apart on the sheet. This is the same dough that I use for the biscuit pizza rolls. It's on my website under, I think it's under the snacks heading, or snacks, or maybe lunchtime. So evenly spaced on that parchment lined baking sheet, and it's going to go into a 375-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on it. The sugar will burn, so don't walk away and forget about it. Okay, we'll be back in 15-20 minutes. We're back. It's been about 20 minutes, and the cinnamon rolls are just out of the oven. They're smoking hot. They look delicious, yes. One of the great things about parchment paper is that you can just remove everything from the sheet at one time. I'm just going to make sure that the rolls are not stuck to the side of the pan, and they're not. And then we can just remove them from the hot pan to a cooling rack. Just grab the parchment like so. Sweet. That easy. Sorry, Seth, you're going to have to wait just a little while to eat them because they are really, really hot. Pretty soon. So there they are. We're going to have these for dessert tonight. Seth might have one before supper.
Maybe.
Just to test it, make sure it's okay. And they freeze well. And you could double this recipe very easily. You could make half cinnamon rolls and half cheddar cheese biscuits or something like that. It's a very versatile recipe. It's great on a cold, wintry day like it is today. And I hope you enjoy this. You can follow the recipes on the blog. The link will be below my video. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.